Well, hey there, community. It's Leslie from the Tea Experience. Welcome to another Teacup Tuesday. So, this Teacup Tuesday, still staying in the theme of chocolate, February, love, Valentine's Day, Galentine's Day. Wanted to feature one of our other more popular chocolatey type teas. If you haven't already heard of it yet. It is called Red Velvet. Now, Red Velvet tea is an herbal tea. It is rooibos based, Rooibos, for those who may not know about it. Rooibos is a African based, I guess it's like kind of the bark of a tree or a bark of a plant that's shaved down really, really finely, so it can be brewed into tea or tea, herbal tea, a tisane. And so Red Velvet tea is based with rooibos as its base, and it is blended with raspberries, apples, hibiscus, cocoa beans, and white and dark chocolate nibs. So for those of you who may be concerned about dairy, there's a little bit of dairy and obviously some sugar that has kind of been introduced in this blend because of all of the dried fruits that's in it. But there is some dairy in there because of the chocolate nibs and the white and dark chocolate nibs in here. So if you're, trying to stay away from dairy and or sugar, this tea may not be for you because it is naturally flavored with that stuff. And so since it is a tisane, an herbal tea, rooibos should be brewed anywhere between 5 and 7 minutes. 1 teaspoon, 1.5 teaspoons to 6 to 8 ounces of hot water, and brewed for 5 to 7 minutes. Milk, yes, if you'd like some milk added to this tea. Lemon, no, because the acidic nature of the lemons may have an effect on the raspberries and apples. But more importantly, it may have an effect on the white and dark chocolate nibs. It may, curdle a little bit, or you'll see some sort of, curdling at the top of the tea if you add lemon to it. So if you are able to, stay away from lemon when it comes to Red Velvet tea. And so it smells a little earthy to me. I do smell the raspberries. It tastes really sweet. I mean, honestly, I added a 1/2 teaspoon of my coconut sugar to this tea while it was brewing. And it definitely, at least for me, the coconut sugar brings out even more of the sweetness that you have with Red Velvet tea. And so, if you're looking for a chocolate-themed flavored herbal tea or tisane, you might want to give Red Velvet a try. It is also part of our Chocolate Tea Lovers sample kit set, where you get 4 different little mini packages, maybe 2 ounces, maybe about 1 ounce in each of the little packages. There's 4 teas in there. I may actually have to come back on live and show you folks what's in the Chocolate Lovers tea sampler, but Red Velvet tea is definitely one of those teas that is in that sampler package that you're able to purchase. You can go on the website, theteaexperienceny.com, and learn more about it until I actually come back on live and let you know what's in the Chocolate Lovers tea sampler. But Red Velvet tea is indeed one of the 1 ounce sampler packages that you will get with the Tea Lovers sample package. And so if you're really into it, because this is the month of chocolate and Valentine's Day and all things kind of chocolate flavored, you might want to give this one a try. So here's my game show questions about the history of red velvet cake. There's a lot of controversy, differences of opinions as to how red velvet cake was even originated. Some date red velvet cake back to the 17th century in England. Others say that the original recipe of the red velvet cake came in the 1920s from a bakery chef who worked at the Waldorf Astoria. Some folks in the South claim red velvet cake as its own. That red velvet cake actually originated somewhere in the South. I still wasn't able to kind of definitively figure it out, but in case you're on a game show or a Jeopardy question that comes up, at least you know that one of those three answers is probably correct. Either the 17th century origin, the Waldorf Astoria in the 20s, or, how the cake actually originated in the South somewhere. But I do know that red velvet cake is very symbolic and widely enjoyed as a dessert in February for Valentine's Day. And it is also widely enjoyed during Juneteenth. For those of us who are of African descent from the African diaspora, we know that the red color itself is reflective in the Juneteenth celebration. And during that day, we try and enjoy all things red, i.e. hibiscus tea and red velvet cake. And so red velvet cake is definitely a pretty significant and impactful dessert during Valentine's Day, obviously, and then during Juneteenth. So, and the story behind why the color red comes about, nowadays, and with all this commercialism of red velvet cake, we know that some cakes, not all, have red dye added to them. But historically, originally, it is told, here's another game show question, that the reddish brown color actually originated from the blending of cocoa powder and buttermilk. And that when you blend the two together, because buttermilk has vinegar in it, it has an acetic element added to it, that when it was blended with cocoa powder, it would create that reddish brown color. Some folks, particularly our vegan family members or vegan members of our community, if they are enjoying red velvet cake, I understand that there are some bakers out there who actually use beet juice to get that red color for the red velvet cake. So I say that all to say that red velvet tea tastes, in my opinion, similarly to red velvet cake. And so if you're interested and you kind of like the taste of red velvet cake, and you don't want the calories that come with that red velvet cake, why don't you give red velvet tea a try? And so here's the Teacup Tuesday. Oh, if you're interested in purchasing red velvet tea, go to my website, theteaexperienceny.com. There you'll find in the herbal or the tisane section of the website, red velvet tea. 2-ounce can is $16 and it'll get you about 18 cups of tea. So it's very affordable and it's healthful because of the rooibos base of this tea blend. And so here's the Teacup Tuesday, red velvet tea, not red velvet cake, red velvet tea, rooibos based, blended with raspberries, apples, hibiscus, cocoa beans, white and dark chocolate nibs. There's a little dairy in here and some natural sugars added to it because of the dried fruits. So those who are kind of watching their sugar or watching the amount of dairy, just know that there is traces of dairy and sugar in red velvet tea. So here's the Teacup Tuesday, everybody. Happy Love Month, because we're extending out the month of February beyond Valentine's Day. And I hope you enjoy the red velvet tea. And so if you're interested, or if you're someone who's actually tried it already, please DM me or post a comment and let me know what your thoughts are about red velvet tea. So take care, everyone, and happy Teacup Tuesday. Shall see you again really soon. Bye-bye.